We got the root of a corn. Okay, that's what? Root cap. There's the meristem area, and that's the procambium, right? And if you go to a little higher power, there's the root cap cells. There's the meristem. I like 4x power because you can see everything. But if you really want to get up and close, there's 40. See, that's one cell. That's the nucleus, and the red dot is the nucleolus. All right, and there's the meristem area. Now, if you go up a little bit higher, you notice the cells are what? Elongated, right? You're in the zone of elongation up the root. Okay, now number 2 is in your textbook. This is the willow, and it shows the origin of a secondary root. See how it's connected to the vascular stele here? So there's the direct vascular connection. It erupts right through the cortex, pushes aside the epidermis, and we have direct vascular connection between this root and a secondary root. All right, number 3 is dicot root. How do you know it is a root? One vascular stele. How do you know it's a dicot? There's no pith. Some of these green cells here are xylem. They're not mature yet. But we have a tetrarch, 4 arms of xylem, and the little bitty cells that are green, that's the phloem. Very ill-defined pericycle and endodermis. By the way, all that purple stuff are starch grains in the parenchyma cell. Number 4, monocot root. How do you know it's a root? One vascular stele. How do you know it's a monocot? We got a pith. Okay. How about a little bit higher power? Okay, so there's the epidermis, a lot of parenchyma, and then vas. What's that? The endodermis, right? And then this would be all pericycle here, about 4 rows. And then that's phloem. And then we have xylem. That's a big xylem vessel. So we got a row of xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem. They alternate. You can see. There's the endodermis, xylem, phloem, xylem, phloem, xylem. And this, even though it's stained red, it's still pith. Smilax is a vine, carrion flower, and it's they call it a sclerenchymatous pith. Well, what is sclerenchyma? It's got lignin in it, so it stains red. A little unusual. Most pith is not like that. I don't have any slides for number 5, the tilia root. That's a nice woody root. Take a quickie look at it. Number 6, the coleus stem. Also in your book, we got leaves, we got axillary buds, and there's no stem cap. There's a stem tip meristem. Any dark lines you see would be what? Procambium. The hairs here are technically called trichomes, not hairs. Okay. Number 7, dicot stem, Eustele. How do you know it's a stem? You got multiple vascular bundles. How do we know it's a dicot? There is a pith in the middle. Okay. And the bundle cap is sclerenchyma, even though it's stained green, it's sclerenchyma. And that's sclerenchyma, and then we have the xylem here, and then the phloem here. The phloem here and the xylem internal. Xylem is the inside. Xylem, phloem. Good. Okay, monocot stem, number 8, corn. How do you know it is a how do you know it's a stem? Multiple vascular bundles are all over. How do you know it's a monocot? They're scattered. There's no order. Okay? So if we look at it, actually this is parenchyma right here. There's some parenchyma right under the epidermis. Okay? But here's the parenchyma. See how one parenchyma cell can get almost as big as a vascular bundle. And if we go higher power on the vascular bundle, okay, so here's the parenchyma. There's the epidermis. There's parenchyma here. Parenchyma. See the cytoplasm? Here's sclerenchyma. It's stained red, but it's sclerenchyma. Look at the phloem. Okay, stained green. See a nucleus? That's probably a companion cell right there. And on your lab, I might say find the protoxylem, so it's ripped. The protoxylem stops elongating, but the stem continues to grow, so it's ripped. The xylem that matures later, vessel, would be what? Metaxylem. So protoxylem, metaxylem, and a bunch of other metaxylem cells, okay, in a vascular bundle. Okay, now we're going to look at steel types, I guess. This would be number 9. It is the stem of a whisperm, and so see how it radiates outward, the xylem do? No pith. So that would be a actinostele, okay? Number 10 is Lycopodium rhizome or stem, and here the xylem is in plates, thin plates that can be branched. So this would be a plectostele, okay? That is number 10. And then finally, a strange fern stem, Glycinia, which is not a strange fern, but nonetheless, this is a mixed up stele. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It's got xylem, parenchyma, and phloem all mishmashed together. So we call it a vitalized stele. Very, very strange and unusual. Okay, number 12 is on the table behind me. I'll show you after we get through the slides what it looks like. All right, number 13. You got 3 sections on one slide. This is cross. See the vessels and tracheas and the nice rays? Okay, so that's a cross section. Now, longitudinal section, you see the cells, the tracheas and vessels go up and down. But since it's cut through the rays going across, this is a radial section. Okay, so you can see the rays going across. All right. Now, if I rotate that sucker 90 degrees and cut tangential, perpendicular to the rays, once again, see it's a longitudinal section. See these little cells? Those are the rays coming out at you. So this is a tangential section. Looks like they're all what? Uniseriate, doesn't it? They're all one cell thick, all these rays. All right, then we get into the good stuff, the big wood. Number 14, this is Quercus stem. I want it under 4x power, even though you can't see much, because you got pith, 1, 2, 3, 4. See the annual rings? 4 years growth of xylem. Notice the rays, vascular cambium. This is phloem and parenchyma, but what stands out is the shocking pink phloem fibers. And what's that up there? Cork. Well, that's fine if you want to see everything, but there's no detail. So if you go to 10x power, now we can see some detail. We see some vellum or cork, velogen, cork cambium. This is parenchyma and cork parenchyma. But what really stands out is what? The phloem fibers. This is a terrible slide. You can't see the vascular cambium very well at all. Vessel, 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 vessel. Oak has big vessels. Nice xylem ray. Most of the stuff is tracheas. Why that rip? Probably a little microscopic piece of dust on the blade when the slide is made. This is definitely a C- slide. Okay, 40x power. Better slide. Ray, xylem ray, phloem ray. See the vascular cambium? Little brick-shaped cells right here. Vessel, vessel, vessel. These are tracheas. So tracheids and vessels. If you see some with cytoplasm, that would be a parenchyma cell. Okay, let's get to pine wood, number 15. How do you know it's not angiosperm? How do you know it's gymnosperm wood? Well, yeah, it's got pith, so what? It's got these things. Resin ducts, and there's no vessels. You see? All tracheids with some resin ducts. We got some resin ducts in the cortex, too. Nice big resin ducts. A little bit of cork starting here, too, on this young stem. Resin duct in the cortex, xylem ray, vascular cambium, tracheids, no vessels. Cortical resin duct, big. There's a nice wood resin duct. Notice how it's surrounded by parenchyma cells. All right. Notice no vessels. They're all tracheates. Gymnosperm wood has resin ducts and no vessels. Oh, that's kind of dark, but it's under 40x power. There's a nice vessel.